Hello there, this is Teamworks Podcast. We are a podcast that will be talking about games from PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, you name it. We'll be talking right through all them platforms, right through all our episodes, but also we'll be now and again talking about Marvel stuff and stuff like that. But don't forget, if you say to Alexa, play Teamworks Podcast, and the episode, it will play our podcast. So yeah, that's our podcast, and yeah, we hope you enjoy it, guys. Hello guys, and welcome back to the podcast. This is Teamworks, and we are on episode 14 already. It flew by this season, but we do have a guest on our show, KRAZEYL, and she's from America, aren't you? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. How are we doing? And thank you for joining us.
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. How are you, Phil?
Yeah, doing good. Been a busy day, but I'm doing good. How are you, mate?
Not bad, mate. I'm feeling a lot better than I was about an hour ago. Yeah, I wasn't feeling great, but yeah, I still wanted to do the podcast, you know, because I love doing it. But yeah, we have a really good friend from the gaming community, and she's all the way from America. So it's nice to have someone from a different country, basically, because I think it's good to get people all around the country to get onto the podcast. So yeah, Phil's going to start off with a question. What would your question be, mate?
Okay, so I think the most basic and initial question would be, you called yourself KRAZEYL on your Twitch channel.
Yeah.
And obviously the first letter is a K. Was there a reason for you choosing that name, and the reason for the K as well, or?
Not really. I just wanted something different spelling than the typical crazy. So I was like, oh, let me just go with the change it up and put a K and then add an E in there.
Cool beans.
That's really cool. I mean, it makes sense as well, though, doesn't it? That's the thing. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you want something a bit different, don't you? You don't want like just generic. So I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it, and it's like I say, it's amazing having you on the show. My question for you is, when was the first time you started streaming, and what game did you start streaming?
Oh goodness, that's a good question. I actually started streaming. It's been quite a few years now. I started on Mixer when Mixer was around. I don't know if you guys know about Mixer or not.
Yeah, that was on Xbox, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah, and that was probably 5-6 years ago that I started Mixer, and I streamed Call of Duty and Realm Royale.
Oh, wow.
I was a big Realm Royale streamer.
Nice.
Nice. I remember Realm Royale, because is that been going on for that long, has it, that game?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, I started when it first came out. I started playing it, and I was hooked on playing it, and then the game kind of died a little bit, and now they're starting to bring the game back, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that's good. Is that the game that you could run around like chickens?
Yes.
Yeah, when someone got you down, it was like before you respawn, or before you were literally gone, you changed into a chicken, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah, so when you get down, you get turned into a chicken, and then you can like fight back as a chicken, so you can like peck at them. So you can charge at people and peck at them, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
I definitely need to get back to that game, because it does sound a lot of fun. And when I did start playing it, I thought, oh, this is weird, but it's actually fun at the same time.
It is.
I'll be honest, I've never played it, but it sounds like something I might need to be checking out.
Yeah, and it's a free game.
I'm sorry.
I just realised what you said then. You said chicken out. Wow.
Chicken out.
Come on, it was too easy of a pun to resist.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I would love to play that game, and it's great to see that you started from Mixer, because Mixer was a big platform. I mean, you had some big people on there, like Ninja was on there, wasn't he? He was streaming there for a while before he turned over to Twitch.
Yeah, Mixer was kind of a lot of smaller communities, and then they started bringing some of the bigger names over, and then it kind of just fell apart. And then a lot of those people went to either Facebook gaming, or they went to Twitch, or they moved to YouTube. So it kind of, once Mixer died, it kind of split, it divided a lot of communities, and you kind of had to start all over again. It took me almost 2 years to start streaming again, from Mixer ending to starting back up on Twitch.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there as well. If you've been streaming for ages on one platform and it's like you're doing so well on it, and then all of a sudden it closes down and you got to start on another platform. Yeah, sometimes you don't feel like doing it because you put all that hard work and effort into that platform like Mixer, and then it gets closed down. You think to yourself, "Oh, I can't be bothered now." I don't know whether that was the reason for you for stop streaming for 2 years, but what was the reason?
Yeah, I lost contact with a lot of friends too that I used to know from Mixer. We didn't have a lot of time once it shut down to kind of exchange information with people and tell people where we were moving to, and so a lot of people kind of got lost in the shuffle. So it was tough.
Yeah. We definitely feel for you there, because there's been times where I started off doing content creating on YouTube, just like putting videos together, and then I just went off the rail for a while. I just didn't upload any videos at all for ages and ages, and I'm thinking to myself, I should have carried it on, but sometimes your mind just thinks, oh, do you know what, I can't be bothered. You want to do it, but it's like you say, your brain's telling you. No. And like you said, you lost a load of, contacts, and you couldn't get them contacts back for ages and ages. I don't know whether you got the same contacts back. Did the same people come across when you went on Twitch?
Only a few people that I knew from Mixer I still talk to now on Twitch. A lot of people that I know now are new people that I've met through Twitch since streaming on there. So,
yeah, very interesting. Phil, did you ever do any, other stuff on other platforms before, YouTube and all that?
I mean, I started on YouTube, but it wasn't what I do now. It was just kind of I did like some going on Beat Saber on the Oculus, and I did quite a few like parody song things during lockdown, all to do with the virus, which was mainly just to keep like people in my local community entertained, which it worked. So, but I kind of, because I was uploading every single day, it just kind of got me to the point where it wore me down, and I was like, I'm done with this, so I gave up. But when it comes to like the wood burning, obviously the first thing I probably started on really was Facebook, and then from there I jumped straight to Twitch.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for me, KRAZEYL,
it's your fault.
It's my fault. If I didn't pester me, when I say pestering, I just said, "Come on, mate, you start streaming on Twitch because you do so well on it." And he's thinking, "Nah, I can't be bothered," and stuff like that. But then I said to him, "Join Stream Wars. Honestly, mate, it's a fantastic community. They will help your channel out." And he eventually joined, and I think he's not looked back since, have you?
No. And as I say, it's all because of you, like.
Yeah, all because of me.
I'm glad. So. I'm so glad. I love watching your streams when you're in there doing the wood burning. Like it's just amazing just to watch you work.
It's weird though, because like I don't know. I mean, I kind of thought like, because I've never like videoed it as like the full 2-hour burn or 4-hour burn or whatever. Whenever I video it, I put it on a hyperlapse, so it reduces like 4 hours down to 2 minutes or something like that. So I thought most people wouldn't want to sit there for like 4 hours and just watch someone do art, but it turns out a fair few people do actually really enjoy it. So
yeah. Yeah, that's that's very interesting to hear about that as well. And this podcast is all about the gaming world and hearing other people's backgrounds. I mean, we've had quite a few guests on our show now, and it's just nice to hear that there's always a different background to how they became a streamer and what made them game in the first place. Which is coming on to my next question. What was the reason you started gaming in the first place?
I couldn't actually tell you. I don't know. I just kind of fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I started, now if we're talking like video gaming, I started way back with the Atari, playing in my grandma's house and
wow.
playing on that. And then I got a Game Boy, like the original Game Boys, like not the colors one, like the black and white Game Boys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
remember them.
And so it just kind of developed from there. I eventually got into other gaming things like tabletop gaming and painting figures
Oh yeah.
and little miniatures. Yeah. So I've
Oh, but like
I kind of
Warhammer.
ended it. Yeah, like Warhammer.
Wow,
It's cool,
that's very cool. I mean, I don't think I've ever actually done them type of games before, but they sound really, really interesting. And I think I've seen some people do it, and it does look amazing. And you look back now, though, the graphics and all that, the rubbish, aren't they? Compared to today.
It's crazy how much they've changed. Like I said, it's gone from like black and white gaming to like immense colors, and just like the graphics are just amazing in some of these games that they have now. It's just crazy.
Well, the pixels anyway. Every game back then looked like Mario games, didn't they? Because of the pixels.
Yep.
It was that type of style of gaming, but back then you say to yourself, oh, you know what, it was amazing. But like you say, going from black and white gaming to now all colour with all realistic graphics, and it's amazing how far technology and the gaming world's gone.
Oh yeah, even just the controls that you use. You started out with just a little paddle that had two controls on it, and now you got these controllers that have back paddles and all these fancy gadgets and stuff. So
I know, yeah, and you think to yourself,
Can you imagine like showing someone the controller for Pong,
oh,
like
God.
showing like a PS5 controller to someone who has only ever played Pong? Like, it just blow their mind. Like, too many buttons. Like, literally, that was just a dial. That's all they had.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Crazy.
Yeah, very, very crazy. And that's what gaming makes fun for you. You experience new things. Like you say, the graphics are amazing now, so there's all that, but there's all virtual reality now as well, which is absolutely amazing the way that they've done that.
It is. I wish I could do more virtual reality. It makes me kind of dizzy playing it and
Yeah.
watching it. So
Yeah.
my kids are really into it, though. They love it.
Yeah, well, I
mean,
go on, mate.
I'll be honest. Like, I've got a Oculus Quest 2, and the only game I really play on it properly is Beat Saber. But when I've tried to go on like these ones where you're actually moving around and doing other stuff and that, it genuinely makes me really sick too. So I just can't do it. And my brother and his missus have both got one as well, and they said, well, he said if you keep going, you can push past it and then you don't feel sick anymore. But I thought it just really knocked me far too sick for me to want to put myself through it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate, because I got the original PlayStation VR when it first came out. And I started playing it. I was like, oh, this is good. But I can't last any more than 15 minutes on it because I felt really, really sick after it.
Yeah.
I literally took it off and that was it. I had to sit down for ages just to feel better again, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I just I don't know how people can go through like half an hour, maybe more, going through virtual reality, because don't forget you got all these bright lights coming right at your eyes and everything's moving around you, so you do end up feeling dizzy and all that. But I suppose it doesn't affect everyone the same as it does with other people.
Yeah.
See, I wonder whether it's like a form of like motion sickness, because the whole thing is that your body isn't physically moving, but your brain is telling you you are moving. And it's like, like obviously driving and everything, you've kind of been brought up from like a young age with it, so it's kind of like your body's already used to it. So then with VR being like I say a relatively new thing, with that being moderately new, if you get what I mean, it's kind of your body isn't used to it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's not something you experience all the time that it would get adjusted to that feeling.
Yeah, and that's going on to the next subject as well. I mean, Phil's just mentioned a bit then. The human mind, it's a weird part of our body. I mean, it thinks things that sometimes we don't know what that thing is. It makes us do things, and I was listening to a podcast, and I listened to him quite well. But the podcast is basically called the Diary of a CEO. I don't know whether you've heard of it.
I have not.
And basically, he talks about the human mind, and he has all celebrities coming on. And he said in one of the episodes, basically, is the human mind is a weird thing, because you could have a bad habit, and that bad habit will always be with you. Even if a new habit comes in and pushes that bad habit, it'll always be at the side of you. So when that new bad habit or any habit stops, that old habit that you had will always be there. And it was very interesting the way he said it, because the human mind does think like that. And like Phil said, when you're on a virtual reality, when you got the helmet on you and all that, your mind just thinks that it's still going around and round, and it's like you say, it's a weird part of our body, isn't it? Really,
mm-hmm.
And it's very, very interesting. So yeah,
I always think when you think about how the Oculus or like current VRs affect you. Well, when you compare that to, I think the first one that was brought out was, it was like an old massive red one that just it had its own stand and everything, where it literally, you had to stand it on the table and put your head in it, but the lights they used were like red and black, so it ended up causing like a lot of damage to the eyes, and it caused people to feel like really sick. So I mean, the newer versions do cause like less sickness than that original one used to, but I'd love to try that one though. Don't know if you have seen it.
What one's that, mate?
It was brought out. I think it was back with the Nintendo 64. Could be wrong there, but it's a very old one. Like,
yeah, I wonder if that actually would make you feel more sick, because obviously the pixels.
Oh, it made so many people ill, because like it's not even just like the pixels, but the fact that it's red and black, like, and the speed of it kind of messes with your head and messes with your eyes.
Yeah. Have you ever tried the PlayStation VR?
I have not.
Well, I don't know whether it'll be the same for everyone, but like I say, when I've played on that, I've not lasted more than 15 minutes, because it does make you feel sick, and then it's weird as well, because it's amazing. That's the thing about it, is it's actually amazing, but you just can't last for long on it, can you?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good thing in a sense, because they do recommend you not to spend more time than, I think it's 15 minutes anyway. So there's the human man thinking that, oh yeah, you're feeling really sick now, come off it now. And it's incredible though. I mean, they've just recently brought out the PlayStation VR 2, haven't they? And that has got better graphics in it. I think it's OLED inside it as well, and it runs in 4K. I mean, can you imagine 4K OLED in your eyes? That would be more bad for you, wouldn't it? But yeah, it does look good. I don't think I'll buy the PlayStation VR 2 just because I got the PlayStation VR 1, but they made it awkward to play your VR games on the PS5 for that, because you had to get an adapter from Sony so you can plug the VR into the PS5, which was a ball ache. And you know what? Since I've got the PS5 and not actually re-plugged it in, I know I will one day, but it's one of them. I haven't, but yeah, Phil, is there any more questions you would like to ask?
Yeah, so you were speaking about like you're only supposed to spend like 15 minutes on them and that. Well, in regards to like time, so what's the longest time you've ever spent on one game, like in one sitting?
Oh, don't know about that one. I'm trying to think. Possibly.
Like in one time, like without stopping?
Yeah, without breaks, without anything.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, because maybe 8 hours, but I can't be certain on that. It could be less than that, but I do know I went quite a few hours without any breaks.
Yeah.
Just playing games. It didn't do me a world of good though, because I had a headache at the end of it, like, but I just got intrigued in the game. And I think, you know what, it could have been, one of the times could have been back when I was a little child, because do you remember the Harry Potter video games that they had for the PlayStation 2, was it? Or PlayStation 1?
Mm-hmm.
Got them for both, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously because you couldn't put it in standby mode, and there was certain missions you couldn't save at that point. So I left my PlayStation on overnight just so I could go back onto it. And I must have been spending hours and hours on that game, because it was brilliant, because basically it was based on the movies, wasn't it, back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what about you, KRAZEYL? What's the longest you were on a game for?
I've spent more than 24 hours on World of Warcraft.
Wow. Is that non-stop as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
That must have took some going. Did you have to keep suffering with your eyelids just to keep you awake?
Not like towards the end I had to, and then that's when I was like, all right, it's time to get off and go to bed for a little while, because that was when one of the I don't remember which expansion, but when one of the expansions came out, and it was like grind. I
mean, the thing is, so like I've not actually played World of Warcraft. I was always a RuneScape kid, obviously, like, which is basically the same game but free.
Yeah.
Because I'm a cheapskate, but so I completely get the fact that it's like so much grinding in that game. So yeah, spending more than 24 hours is completely understandable.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that now, though. Like,
no.
I play a few hours on the game and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Let me go do something else.
That's the thing with me. And you know, the other thing as well is, as I grew up, I've noticed more that I don't know what it is. I think I suffered with emotional sickness, and certain games I can't play for too long, even if it's not VR. There's been games that I've been on and I've like felt, oh no, I can't go on it anymore because it's giving me emotional sickness. It's very weird, isn't it, though? Because when you was a child, you could spend hours and hours on games and it didn't give you emotional sickness. But obviously, when you get older, you experience new things, don't you? And have you ever?
We were more resilient as kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's weird though because I could go hours and hours on Road Company and it won't give me emotional sickness. And you think a game like that will give you emotional sickness because obviously it's fast move pace with guns and all that. Trying to capture the zone and all that, and you're running around all the time on it and you're moving. You would think that would give you emotional sickness, but it doesn't. That game with me, but certain other games with it. I tell you one game that did give me emotional sickness, and it's so weird. But you remember the Rugrats game?
Yeah.
The Rugrats game?
Yeah, it was back on the PlayStation 1, was it?
Oh no, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I tell you what, it wasn't the game itself that gave me emotional sickness. It was actually the tune that you had in there. I think Phil knows what I'm on about here as well.
I remember that game, yeah.
Yeah, do you remember the tune that they had in there, though? It was quite annoying, wasn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, for me, I feel like the main games that will give you motion sickness is, like, first-person games, because, like, it's kind of putting you in the mindset that is you, whereas, like, a lot of them, it's third-person, isn't it? So you're behind your character, which kind of, it takes it away from the fact that you are playing as this person, whereas the first person is kind of immersing you into that reality.
Yeah, totally understanding. I'm with you on that one. Good point, Phil. Good point.
I know. I think that's the first sentence I've said that's ever been coherent. Get me?
Always time for a first, But yeah, there's a question I want to ask, and it could be for both of you, because. This will probably be a very tricky one. So, has a game's storyline ever made you cry?
No way. I was genuinely going to ask this question.
Was you? Yeah,
because
I've been thinking about this one. Yeah.
Go on, do you want to?
Who's going first? What game did make you cry? What storyline did make you cry? I know what one I'm going to say. I mean, one of them is it's gotta be, and Life is Strange, the very first one. That was so emotional, and I'm here to admit it. Yeah, everyone on the podcast that's listening now, I did cry to Life is Strange because it was so emotional. What about you, Phil?
Off the top of my head, I can think of a few.
Yeah, I can think of a few, but that was the most one that did get to me.
There was Life is Strange.
Yeah.
The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus. Like it's with. Oh no, I can't even say it because it's spoilers. They had very, very poignant moments that really tugged at your heartstrings. But there is a game which honestly has made me like bawl my eyes out, and it's the only game that's got me to that point. And that's it's called That Dragon Cancer.
Oh wow!
And I mean,
I've never heard of that one.
I mean, by the name you can see why it's quite an emotional game. But yeah.
What about you, KRAZEYL? What storyline did get to you?
There's been a few, but the most recent one that got to me, I was watching my friend play God of War. And I never got to experience the God of War series before.
Yeah.
And that made me really emotional.
Yeah, I mean, I've only played a little bit of God of War, but the bit I have played it, I know what you mean, because, it speaks about... I think they speak about his mum, don't they? And I think that was emotional, that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I totally understand. So, it's a good question, that, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that have felt emotional playing a certain game. I mean, there's a few that I could say, but I just wanted to point out one really because we could be going on for ages about this subject. But yeah, games do give emotional, thing to you, don't they? And it's incredible in a sense because, how does a game give you emotional feelings? But it does. And I think that's a good way in a sense because you experience something from a game rather than real life. But then some of them games can be like real life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, when it comes to a game, so obviously, TV and film, yeah, lots of people cry over stuff on them, and completely get it. But then with gaming, you'd expect it to be like happen a lot more often because not only are you watching something, you are controlling it, you are a part of it. So then, when you form these bonds with these characters, and then, something drastic happens to them.
Yeah.
It is like something drastic's happened to you. Do you know what I mean? So I understand how it's emotional, like, but the fact that these developers and these story creators like can make it that poignant to affect you to that extent is just phenomenal. And games are just art when you think about it. So amazing.
Yeah.
Really are.
It's very amazing. And do you know what? I'm going to admit as well, I've actually been emotional when I've watched Coronation Street in Emmerdale. Honestly. I don't know why, but I'll watch them things and I go, oh, if there's a really good storyline and it's based on real life, I'm like, wow, that's got to me. So there's a lot of things, and like you say, Phil, you would think that games would give you a lot more emotional because obviously, you're trying to work out things rather than actually just watching it. So you're playing it yourself, you're going through it yourself, you're experiencing it yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
And it's incredible. It's a good point, good subject, and we're going to move on to the next subject because obviously we've got a few on this week's episode. But Phil, what would you like to ask next?
Okay, so what's the next game you would like to play?
Ooh, good point.
Okay, so that could either be a legitimate game that exists now or one that you would like to see exist as well.
Oh, man.
Putting you on the spot, yeah.
Well, I think I am most excited for a new Fable.
Okay.
I've been waiting for a new Fable game for a while now, and they've teased us a couple of years ago about a new one, and there's some talk that it's still being in the works, so we'll see. But yeah.
Wow. Have you ever played that game, Phil? Because I can't remember that one.
I haven't played it, but I do know about it. Like it was, it's been on like the Xbox and the 360, and
it's an Xbox game.
Yeah.
Well,
I've seen bits, but it's not something I've ever played. Like, so is it a game that you absolutely adore? That one?
Yes, it has a really good storyline with it. It's a role-playing game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a fantasy type world that you're in, where you get to cast spells and
cool.
You like it progresses through each one because there's 3 of them. So in the first one, you can't do as much as you can in the third one, of course. But like in the last one that they put out, you were able to like buy houses and people would pay you rent and you'd earn money, and so it was really
cool. So it's kind of like each game it progresses you further into like the life of that character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That sounds like a game that I would actually play. Yeah. I hope they do bring another one out and they bring it for all consoles because I would definitely give that a go, wouldn't you, Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of them. I'd love to play like the full series of it though. Like,
Yeah. Would you get
I
an
don't know. I
Xbox
feel
One
like
just
if you
for
just
that?
play like, I'd borrow one off someone. Like, I know people who can lend me one.
And actually, they have it for PC on
Oh,
Steam.
do they?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. I'll
There
have a
you
look
go.
on Steam then. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a look. See how much it is, and one day I'll end up buying it. But yeah,
It's good though, because like some games, when you get a sequel to it,
yeah,
it's basically just the same mechanics, and it's just kind of it doesn't feel like it's moved the story along all that much. Whereas by the sounds of it, Fable seems to have done that really well.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Incredible. The way my favorite series. Well, I've got two favorite series. One was obviously the Life is Strange series. I've absolutely loved all them games. It's just the story is brilliant, and also you have multiple endings, which is brilliant as well, because you don't know what you're going to end it on, and like it's one of them. You gotta choose wisely on them games, which is amazing. But the other series I've really liked, and I've always liked, is Uncharted. The Uncharted series has just been fantastic. What about you, Phil? What's been your favourite series of games?
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, I would say Life is Strange, but I do feel like the first one was substantially better than the others. It felt like the others were just kind of everyone wanted more, so they were like, okay, we'll create something, and they just didn't do as good a job. But that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, the Uncharted series is definitely one of my favourites.
Yeah. And do you know what? I said this in one of the episodes, and I can't remember which episode it was, but the question basically was, if there was any game that you would like to see crossed over with another game, what would it be? Mine was basically, I would like to see Uncharted crossed over with Tomb Raider. I think that would actually be an amazing series if they did that.
Yeah, I think that's what we spoke about on the last podcast, mate.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I just wanted
Yeah.
to, because I was basically, that was my next question. I wanted to ask KRAZEYL, what game would you like to be crossed over with another game?
Oh,
I mean, it's a very tough one. This, I mean, we've had this question before, but I thought I'll throw it in again because it's a very interesting one.
a tough one. I think it would be really interesting to bring, like, I don't play World of Warcraft as much anymore, but
Yeah.
World of Warcraft with like a battle royale aspect in it.
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, that would be very good.
So like a PvP type map where it would shrink and stuff, but you get to cast spells and all that.
Yeah,
That would be pretty cool, to be fair.
Yeah, if the developers are listening, get that done. That's another game that's got to be made. But yeah, that's a very interesting question, and that's why I thought I'll throw it in again. But yeah, it is a very interesting question, isn't it, Phil? Because you wonder if these developers will do some type of game like that, that's crossed over.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, obviously, you think about there's some games, obviously, that have crossed over in the past, like Mario and Sonic. There's what is it? Super Smash Bros, which is a crossover of multiple different games. So and yeah, they have done it in the past. It's just whether you think, are they concerned then that there's more focus on this other developer's property, do you know what I mean? Or whether it's focused on theirs when merging it together. Like, do they worry that, is it going to bring our series down, or is it just going to bring their series up? What benefit will it have for us? And I think that's part of the problem, is obviously it's all about preservation for them and like focusing on their own, like their own company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like, could you imagine if they actually worked with each other properly?
That would be very interesting because I think gaming companies should literally do that. Okay, yeah, not for every game because obviously they want to bring their own style game out themselves, but
yeah,
it would be good now and again. Like, say, two developers said, "Do you know what? Do you fancy joining us together and making a game that introduces our universe and your universe?" And yeah, it would be very interesting. That. Well, yeah. Any more questions you would like to ask Phil?
Yeah. So when you play a game, do you tend to complete it 100% or just play like the main storyline?
I'm terrible at completing games at 100% because there's always another game that piques my interest. So like I'll play a game for a while and I'll be really into it, and then another game and I'm like, oh, okay, let me go play this one, and then I never go back to the old game. So I'm terrible with that.
Who does that sound like, Phil?
That sounds exactly like you, James. You're both the same. You're both as bad as each other. For shame.
You know what? It's so funny, KRAZEYL. Like you just said then, you find a game, you think, oh, this is really, really good. Playing it, you see another game that comes out and you go, do you know what? Should I buy that? So you end up buying it. You start playing that game, you forget about that other game. And that other game could be, in your library for 2-3 years without being touched again, maybe more. But then that game that you recently bought again will be left again for another few years and so on. And that's the problem with me, because me and Phil do game share, which makes us pay less for games because obviously we're buying digital games and we're just
right.
So have you ever heard of game share?
Yeah, I actually game share with my boyfriend, so that way we only have to buy one copy of the game, and then it lets us both be able to play the game.
Yeah, it's very good, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
Me and Phil have saved fortunes, but spent more in a sense that because we're paying half each, we can buy more games, and it's very, very good because I used to buy digital copy, and I'm sure you did. Phil did a lot. And it was great doing that, but when we heard about game share and all that, we thought, do you know what? This is a bonus. This will benefit all of us. And yeah, we've never looked back since we've done game share, have we?
No, saved an absolute fortune. Because I mean, games these days are so expensive as well.
They are.
Yeah,
like, I mean, you look, when they used to come out, they used to be like £20-30 at most. Now they're like £70 and £80. I mean, obviously it's different with dollars in America, but like, just the price increase of them is insane.
It is, isn't it? I mean, I remember getting a game for £10, a really, really good game, but going back years ago, £10 for a game, and you think, wow, that is really, really good. Now you look, like you say, between 60 and £80 now, isn't it? And something like that, and it's ridiculous. So this game sharing, if anyone doesn't game share, they need to game share with someone because it does save you a fortune. It just means that if you was a physical copy buyer, you have to change to digital, which is not too bad because the games do actually work incredible, even though the digital aren't, don't they?
I mean, the only thing is, obviously, when you buy a physical version of a game, you can then resell that game on. However, when we've bought games, like, obviously, we get them, because we pay half, so we get them half price each, but then can also get them when they're in a bit of a sale as well, so then that's further reduction. And it turns out that when you actually sell that game on after you've completed it, most of the time, you're losing more money than you would if you just bought the digital version. So we found that that's so much better, but
yeah, it is so much better. I mean, we also wait until there's offers on the store, don't we? And we end up picking the offers up, but I wasn't happy about. Obviously, we've recently bought Sackboy's Big Adventure, and literally it's come out for the monthly games for April on PlayStation. But then they've re-released it for the catalogue, and I don't know whether you know, KRAZEYL, PlayStation have brought a new tier system out since last June, I think it was. And one's just like, obviously you get your monthly games as usual. You can pay a little bit extra and you get like a big bunch of games in the library. And then obviously if you pay for the top tier, which is the premium tier, you get some older games, and you get to stream PS3 games, which I think is ridiculous in a sense, because if you don't have a great internet connection, how are you going to stream them? You know what I mean? But they allow you to download the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, plus I think there's a few PSP games on there as well that you can download. But if you was going to play a PlayStation 3 game, you got to stream them, which I think... Why can you download old PS1 and PS2 games on there, but you can't download PS3 games? It doesn't make sense, does it?
No. Really doesn't.
But yeah, going back to the reason why we hated that, you know, we literally just recently bought Sackboy's Big Adventure. It comes out on the monthly games, but then they decide to re-release it for the catalogue games on the extra tier. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's a bit stupid, isn't it? You just literally a week ago, you've said that, oh, this is our monthly game for for April, and then the catalogue, the extra tier is meant to be where you get new games on top of there, but they decided to include Sackboy's A Big Adventure, which I don't know why they've done that. They've obviously ran out of ideas or something, but it's a bit stupid, isn't it, Phil?
It is. I mean, it's kind of like you're not really rewarding your premium subscribers as much.
Yeah, and that. Do you know what? I'm so glad I waited until January just to get the premium tier. I think it was 35% off or 30% off. So I got it cheaper than what I would. It's normally like £100 in our money to get the top tier KRAZEYL. So I don't know how much that is in dollars roughly, but it's quite a lot of money for a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, do you pay for Game Pass, by the way?
I do, yeah.
Now that I do have an Xbox, I have an Xbox One S because my brother upgraded to the new Xbox at the time. So he said, "Would you like to have the Xbox One S?" And I thought, "Yeah, why not? Best of both worlds."
Right.
But I'm a big fan of PlayStation. I've always been a fan of PlayStation since I was little. But there's certain things I like on the Xbox, like the backwards compatibility, where you can put your old disc in and just play it from the start. And I love Game Pass. I gotta admit, Game Pass, there's some fantastic games on there.
There is. I love Game Pass. I play a lot of the games. Like I'll buy or I'll play on Game Pass before I buy.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I like it first.
Yeah, because you can do that, can't you? You don't have to download them straight away either, do you? On certain games, I think most of the games are cloud gaming as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool, isn't it? Really, I mean, that's what they've done with the PlayStation Plus tiers. On some games, like the PS4 games, you can still get. You can stream the game, can't you, before playing them? But like you say, if you haven't got a good internet connection, it doesn't benefit you, does it?
No.
Talking about internet connection, there's a few, let's just say, providers out there that tell you that you're getting your money's worth, and you're not. Are you, Phil?
I have nothing to say on the matter.
Yeah. It's
Not happy.
I know. Yeah, he's with BT as well, aren't you? And you think to yourself, BT would be all right.
They are screwing us over big time.
Yeah, yeah. So, have you had any thoughts who you're going to move to next, or?
Possibly Virgin. I've heard good things, but I'm still, as I say, I'm still researching at the minute. But trouble is, obviously, things keep changing, and our thing doesn't run out until the end of the year. So it's like, for a period of time, I am just gonna have to leave it on the back boiler before I carry on researching. Otherwise,
Yeah,
because things are going to change closer. So just one of them, innit?
it is, mate. And you know, the way BT have gone about it, it's ridiculous. But yeah, going back to streaming and all that, you know, streaming games, you have to have a really good internet connection. I've recently heard rumours, and it possibly could be released the end of this year, that PlayStation are thinking of bringing a handheld console out again, which I think, oh, great, that would be absolutely amazing. But the catch is that it's going to be a streaming device, so you can't actually download games. You'll be streaming them. So how does that work? A handheld console, you want to play it in the car when you're on a journey and that, but you would have to connect to your mobile data. And what if your mobile data is not good enough? If your signal's rubbish wherever you're going, you can't really play them games. So it's pointless having a handheld console then, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't see the point of it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good, but on the gaming side, it doesn't benefit you if you want to take it out, because you can't, because you won't be able to play them games, you know. But no, you know, the PlayStation Vita was a fantastic handheld console. So was the PSP. I don't know whether any of you have one of them.
I used to have a PSP.
Yeah, wasn't it great as well? It was a great handheld console, and then obviously the PlayStation Vita came out, and it was a great console, handheld console, but after about 2 or 3 years, they fell out of love with it. PlayStation, it's died. They just made it die quick, and it's a shame because it was a really good console, and they didn't bring much games out for it then, did they? But yeah.
See, this is the thing, man.
Go on.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was just saying, I think they're just trying to find a console to compete with the Nintendo, because the Nintendo really has no competition as far as handheld consoles go. They're it.
Do you know what? Yeah, you're right. And I hadn't even thought about that, to be fair.
Yeah,
because I mean, obviously, you know, you look back. God, not even that long ago. There was like, you had the PSP, the 3DS. There's others, but my brain is terrible. But like, there was multiple consoles that were always competing with each other, and obviously, when it came to like console wars with the, you know, proper consoles, like they were always in competition with each other. So the fact that like Nintendo now have just they've got like a cap on that market, it's crazy, really. Like, you'd think that someone would try and take them on sooner.
Well, they'll have to take them on sooner. Well, now, because they're thinking of bringing out a new handheld console already, aren't they? I think it's the Nintendo Switch 2, which could possibly be the Pro version to the original one.
I mean, they kind of brought out another one anyway, which was the OLED model, which is obviously better quality and everything, but...
Yeah, that was for
do you know what, though?
As well.
I don't know what you know, both of your opinions is on this, but there's something that Nintendo does with their consoles which I really don't like. So, after they've released... Well, it's the handheld consoles. Yeah. After they've released one, they will change it and then release it again. So, for example, with the 3DS, they then had it so that it didn't flip up and it was constantly open as like one big thing. With the Nintendo Switch, they had the Nintendo Switch Lite where you couldn't take the Joy-Cons off.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like it takes away half of the functionality of that specific thing. I mean, with the DS, it was designed to fold over so that it was smaller, it was more compact. It looked better, it was safer, and then with the Switch, it was the idea that you can get games where you can use the Joy-Cons as separate controllers, which is a brilliant idea. And then obviously you've got 2-player on the go as well as other games. But then they just start doing it where they release it again without that added benefit. And I don't know, I just don't like the way they do that, but don't know if you guys have an opinion on it.
Yeah, I do have opinion on that, and it's probably the same as you, yeah. I don't understand it because obviously, the first Nintendo Switch that came out, I've still got it, but I don't play on it much just because, I'm playing on other things, but I will go on it, and when I go on it, I play like the Mario games and the Fantastic, but talking about, bringing another one out without you can't take the Joy-Cons off. I thought the first one was genius. You got a screen there that you can take out, when you just want to play it as a handheld console, and then you put it in the dock. You play it on the TV. You take the Joy-Cons off and you play it. It was designed similar to the Nintendo Wii in the sense of with the controllers, which I thought was amazing. But the only problem with the Nintendo Wii, if you remember, the center bar that they had, it was very, very bad, wasn't it?
It was horrible.
It was. If you went off a little bit, you couldn't even get back to the cursor, could you?
Nope.
But my opinion on that, Phil, is why did they bring out a model out where you can just play handheld console and not take the Joy-Cons out and put it on the TV? I think that's just genius, because do you remember the trailer that they brought out before the Nintendo Switch came out? It was good, wasn't it? It was. I was really hyped about it, and that's the one of the reason why I bought it. Because it showed you that you could be on a game on the TV, and then obviously if you didn't have time to complete that game on the TV and you didn't have time to save it, you could literally put the Joy-Cons on and take it out at the dock, and then it's there ready when you want to play it.
Yeah.
I think that was just incredible the way they done that. I mean, the OLED version, that was not a bad move in a sense. The fact that they wanted to compete with like PlayStation with and Xbox with 4K display and all that, which I could understand that in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a much bigger screen, wasn't it, as well? I think it was. I think it went from, I don't know how big the first one was, but it went like quite a few centimeters longer, didn't they? If I remember. But the OLED model did look great. Obviously, I didn't want to upgrade. It was a bit like the PlayStation 4 when they bought the Pro version out. Someone said, "Are you gonna upgrade to the Pro version?" And I'm thinking, what's the point? They said, you're just spending more money for the same console, but with a little bit better graphics and all that on it. I would wait until the new one came out, like obviously the PlayStation 5. I don't know what your points on that, but KRAZEYL, what's your point? I mean, go back to Phil's question. What was your point on the Nintendo Switch and why they brought out all these different models?
I think a lot of it's just to cater to different people that play. Different people have different needs for consoles and stuff, so they're just trying to cater to more people to get more people to buy their products. The same with like PlayStation, Xbox, they kind of do similar things too, where they put out one console and then a couple months later they release, this is an updated console, and it's the same thing essentially, but it just has a few minor tweaks and changes to it.
Yeah, true.
Mean, have you ever upgraded from the same model to like an upgraded version to it? Have you ever done that?
No, I've only ever upgraded to, like, I've gone from like the Xbox 360 to like the One, or the One to the Series, then, and that's usually only when mine dies that I need to upgrade. because I'll play it until it dies.
Yeah, that's the same with me, and I'm pretty sure it's the same with Phil. Uh, my opinion is, what's the point upgrading from, the console that you've already got to a little bit better upgraded to your version? If it's working fine, there's no point getting another one, is there?
And as expensive as they are, I don't have $400 or $500 to shell out every time they put a new updated model out.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I did buy another PlayStation 3. When I had the PlayStation 3, that I had to buy another PlayStation 3, to be honest with you, because I had, the 80 gig model when that came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big chunky thing, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
it lasted me for about 6 to 7 years, I think it was. But I went to try and get it fixed first, and the fella said they can't fix it. The chip's gone on it, and the fans or something. So I thought, oh great, because you love gaming and you just want a game, don't you? So I had nothing else back then. I was just PlayStation 3, and I thought to myself, well, I'll wait until September because of my birthday's around that area. And I might have got it actually a little bit sooner because obviously I didn't want to wait any longer. But I ended up getting one of the slimline PlayStation 3s. When they came out, and that's the only time I've upgraded to a newer model to the one you've already got. But I wouldn't just go out there and say, yes, I'm going to upgrade, because if your console's working fine, there's no point, is there? And I
know, but you get these people that are willing to just shell out every time a newer version comes out, and it's a lot of it, sometimes it's quintessentially the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And you think you're throwing money away for no apparent reason. Like, do you notice a difference? And half of them they're like, oh well, I noticed this, and literally just read from the document of like what's new about it, and you can see that they've literally just quoted everything. And like, I've noticed that this feature's so much better, and it's like, have you really, or are you just saying that because you've read what it says? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, mate.
God, I'm cynical.
Do you know what? I've actually seen people that did it with the PlayStation 4. They look like, oh, PS4 Pro's coming out. Oh, yeah, I'm going to buy that. Really? What did you do with the your original? Oh, I kept it. But, yeah, okay. Well, why do you need the other one? Oh, so it's on for show. And I'm thinking to myself, really? Well, why upgrade if that one's working? What's the point upgrading? Well, yeah, some people do, and that's the thing. That's why all these companies do bring out, a slighter, bigger, maybe slightly better performance console to what the consoles already is, and that's why they bring them out, because they know people will buy them. Sadly enough, people will upgrade, even though it's just a slight little difference. It's crazy, really, though, isn't it? I don't know.
But I mean, if you've got the money to do it, then fair dues. But I mean, I just couldn't. I couldn't reason with allowing myself to do that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I couldn't. I mean, there was rumours, when they first showed the PlayStation 5 off and all that. There was rumours, wasn't it, that the PlayStation 5 original would come out alongside as the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I'm thinking to myself, at that time, I said to myself, if that was true and them two did come out at the same time, then I would probably get the PS5 Pro. But I don't. I won't now. I mean, there's talks about the end of this year or next year that the PS5 Pro is going to be out. Yeah, I won't be upgrading.
See, the funny thing was, when it was first, like when you first read that, you sent it to me and started talking to me about it, saying apparently they're going to release the like a PS5 Pro at the same time as the PS5, and I was saying to you, I don't think they will, because like as you said, you would buy the PS5 Pro straight away, as would like 90% of the people.
Yeah.
They would then lose out on that extra sale that they would get with these people who would upgrade as soon as the PS5 Pro comes out. So like you get someone who buy the PS5 Pro, and then when it comes out a year later, they then buy the Pro. So it's just kind of like they're cutting off part of the market. Do you know what I mean? So I just didn't believe it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a valid point, and there is talks about not only the PS5 Pro coming out, but there's going to be a PS5 that's going to be where you can have a removable disc drive, which I think to myself, yeah, it sounds cool, but you could just get the digital version rather than just have one that's got a disc and you can move it out when you want. Well, what's your point on that one?
On getting a disc?
You would just get the disc one?
No, I would. I don't even buy discs, but I would.
You would buy it, would you?
It would depend. Like, if I had a need for that one, I would buy that one. Like, if I mostly bought discs, then I would get that one. But if I mostly buy digital, then I would I would just stay with the one.
But the thing is, though, as well, though, even the original disc console, it's digital anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they're saying they're going to bring a console out that has got a removable disc drive, it's not. There's no point, really, is there?
I wouldn't
Not
say so.
really.
No, because you're still,
Unless,
you're
like,
still going to do the same.
collector of discs.
Yeah, I suppose if you're one of them people that collects consoles and all that, yeah, it would be good as a good collectible item, but I just wouldn't myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, very very valuable point and a good subject to talk about. But yeah, we will move on to the next subject because we've got quite a few. But yeah, what the next question I would like to ask is basically, and it's a question that I want to always ask, and we normally keep it at the end of the podcast, but I want to ask it now. Xbox or PlayStation?
I am an Xbox girl. Always have been. I've ever since original Halo came out. That was my game, and that kind of just threw me into the Xbox world, and I've just been going along with it since.
Yeah, since ever really, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah. Do you know what I like I say, I like Xbox for certain things. The backwards compatibility, the Game Pass is unbelievable because the amount of day one releases that released on there as well. And I do like the Halo games. That's probably one of the reasons why I like an Xbox as well. The Halo games plus the Horizon, the racing game.
Horizon Zero Dawn or something, I think it is.
Horizon 5 was the latest one. But the one before was based in all different places. A part of it was the UK. I mean, Edinburgh was shown in that game. Believe it or not, I don't know if you heard of a place called Edinburgh.
I never heard of it. No.
No, well, that's a great place. It's got a great castle in it, and they introduced that into Horizon 4, I think it was. But most of the games are based in like America and Mexico and places like that. But yeah, that.
Oh, you mean in like Forza Horizon?
Forza Horizon, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
right, when you said Horizon, I thought like
I thought he was talking about a different
Zero
game.
Dawn.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have said Forza. But yeah, Forza. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, wouldn't it be that? Do you know what? That's actually good. Can you imagine Horizon Zero Dawn with all these racing cars, and that would be quite funny, wouldn't it?
See, that'd be one of those weird crossovers, wouldn't it? Where it's just kind of like getting two good games and just merging them to make something crazy.
I know, yeah, she'll be out. She'll be leaning out of the window with a bow and arrow or whatever she uses. She's going like 120 miles per hour or more, and she's like trying to shoot everyone else coming past her. Yeah, that would be weird. Like, but yeah, I should have said Forza Horizon because that's what I meant. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I would. Well, obviously that's the reason why I've got an Xbox, because I love that game. It is a good game, and Horizon, and the new one was the day one, wasn't it? The day one release.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, on Game Pass.
Yeah, I believe it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, and it's but the multiplayer they've made free on Steam as well, haven't they? It's literally free for everyone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and well, obviously Steam have got it, but it's something that they need to bring to PlayStation. But obviously, some exclusives are going to stay to Xbox, and same with PlayStation. But some PlayStation games have jumped over to Xbox recently, and Xbox games have, like Titanfall. Titanfall 2, when that came out, it wasn't Xbox exclusive. Well, it was a little bit, but it did come out for the PS4 as well, didn't it, Phil?
Yeah.
And that was such a good game. I don't know if you ever played Titanfall, KRAZEYL.
No, I've never played that one.
Oh, it was so addictive. It was one of them games. It was basically, you went into its big team. I forgot what it was. It well, a squad of 8, Phil, or something, or maybe more.
I think it was 6.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
It was something like that, and basically you went into the game. It was like a bit like Call of Duty in a sense that you go in. It's a team deathmatch mode, and if you leveled your ability up, you ended up changing into this big. Well, you went into this big robot called Titan, and it was incredible, Phil, wasn't it? It was just very, very interesting.
Yeah.
They did have a campaign mode on there, but we never played it really. It was just multiplayer mode all along, wasn't it?
Mm.
But then they brought out Apex, which is a free-to-play game. I don't know if you played that game, KRAZEYL.
I'm not a very good Apex player.
Yeah, we're the same. We tried it and we thought, nah, it's not for us. Because basically we thought it was going to be like Titanfall, because that's what they give us hopes that it was going to be like Titanfall, and they're going to have these robots in it. But they never brought that. And we did try it for a bit, didn't we, Phil? But then it was just like, nah, not for us.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really been a huge fan of like battle royale kind of games.
No,
then,
I haven't really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game didn't suit us. But because that game came out, and obviously they're made by the same makers of the Titanfall people that have made that game, they literally took more interest with Apex, and they've basically killed Titanfall 2 now, haven't they?
Yeah, they just completely got rid of it.
Yeah, because you're very, very lucky if you get into a game, and we tried it. Was it last year? We tried going on it all the years after, and we didn't get in a game. Well, yeah, I think you did, didn't you? You got in a game, but it took ages. But then you couldn't get in a game after that. You had to be very lucky, because the servers are because they're not being looked after for ages. You were very lucky to get in a game, and there's loads of games like this that, they've just concentrated on different games, and that they've died them games off.
Yeah.
It's sad, but I think that's the way it happens. The new game comes out, and if it's made by the same owners, they lose interest in making, the previous games any better, don't they? But yeah, very, very interesting subject as well. But that's the gaming world for you, isn't it?
There's always going to be something new around the corner coming out.
Yeah. There's always something new coming around. And well, that's another question I want to ask before Phil asks the next question. But what game are you looking forward to that's coming out soon? Is there any games you're looking forward to?
There's not really any that are coming out recent that I know of.
Yeah.
Diablo 4. I am waiting for Diablo 4. I guess I could include that one because that one's coming out in June, I believe.
Oh, so
Beginning of
not
June.
long. No, yeah, not long now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that one.
Oh, brilliant. What about you, Phil?
I actually can't think of any that I'm waiting to come out, to be fair, you know.
I can think of one, but yeah, come on.
I was going to say, whenever a new game comes out, majority of the time, I'm not particularly bothered. It's not like, oh god, I need to get that game as soon as it comes out. It's just kind of, it's like, oh yeah, that'll be good, but, you know, I've got so many other games to go through that I'm like, I'll wait until it drops in price, because I'm not one of those people that's like, I have to be the first to play it. So, none I'm really
I know what you mean.
thinking about.
I really do know what you mean, but there is a game I'm looking forward to coming out this year, and it's Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I have to agree with you there.
Because me and
you just made me out to be a liar now.
Yeah, but me and Phil are big Marvel fans. I don't know whether you like the Marvel universe and all that.
I do. Yeah. The Spider-Man game was a good game. I didn't get to play it personally, but I watched it played, and I was really into the game. It looked really fun to be able to like swing around from the buildings and stuff.
They did such a great job to it though, because it was a big open world. The story was amazing. The side missions were amazing as well, weren't they, Phil?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. And do you know what they made? They made it easy enough to, you know, platinum it. Obviously, on your side, it'd be completing all the achievements, getting 100%, wouldn't it? But yeah, it was a PlayStation exclusive, and that's because Sony owned Spider-Man. That was one of the reasons why it didn't come out for any other platform.
Yeah.
I think that's stupid in a sense, but I mean, okay, yeah, Xbox have got their own exclusives and all that, but Spider-Man needs to be in all platforms, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, look at it, right? When Crash Bandicoot first came out and when Spyro first came out, I'm talking like the remastered versions. When they both first came out, they were PlayStation exclusive. Yeah. Then I think Crash Bandicoot was like a year down the line, and Spyro was like 3 months or so down the line before it was released to other consoles as well. And it was the idea that, well, if you're looking at getting a console and you absolutely love playing that game as a kid, then you're going to go to PlayStation because that's the only one that has it. So then, but then after, you know, it's been out for a period of time, it's like, okay, well, no, people aren't just going to switch to PlayStation for that one game, so we'll just open the market up so that other people can play it as well. So, I mean, you know, they would make more money if they did expand that market and allow it to be sold for Xbox as well.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that one. Do you know what the thing is as well is, though? I love the fact that they brought some of these old games back now. I mean, Crash Bandicoot, we've all said for years we really wanted another game to come out. They brought, like you say, the remastered version out, which was amazing. And then they brought Crash Bandicoot 4 out, which we've been waiting for years and years, weren't we? Now, I don't know whether it's out just yet, but is it Crash Rumble or something? Yeah,
Crash Team Rumble.
Team Rumble.
It's not out yet, but the closed beta is being released, I believe, at the end of the month or next month.
Yeah, so it was nice to see that come back, wasn't
Yeah, well, I don't know if either of you played it, but there was a game back on the PlayStation 1 which was Crash Bash, it was called. And it is literally, Crash Team Rumble is literally the exact same kind of game.
Yeah.
So the fact that, like, because they didn't bring anything like that with Crash for the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 3, so the fact that they're now, reviving that series, well, it wasn't a series, but they're basically, like, reviving that game, but in a completely new form, so it's not a remastered. So, I do love that.
Yeah, and you know what, as well, is there's rumours about, and I think it will happen as well, but a new Sparrow the Dragon game. Wow. Yeah, come on.
Oh, I'd love that.
Well, when they brought, they re-brought Crash Bandicoot out, you look back to what he looked like to what he looks like now. It's incredible the way, how much detail it is in that character now.
Absolutely.
Which is absolutely amazing. And Sparrow the Dragon. Oh, do you can imagine seeing that now? How he would look. Wow. Yeah. Did you ever used to play them games, KRAZEYL? You must have, because they were classic games, weren't they?
I played Crash a lot when I went to my one friend's house because they had a PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I often played Crash and like Sonic over there at their house. And I really enjoyed them. So I was excited when they brought Crash onto the Xbox.
Yeah, well, there were games that you grew up with, and it was just amazing games, wasn't they? And I'm so glad that they brought Crash Bandicoot out back now.
Yeah.
But I'm really hyped for a new Sparrow the Dragon game, because I think that would be amazing. But yeah, is there anything you would like to ask KRAZEYL, Phil? Just before we end the episode, is there anything else you would like to ask?
Yeah, okay, so I'm just trying to remember the character's name. Oh, yeah, so when I was younger, there was a villain who I was really, like, scared of. Like, every time he appeared, I was like, oh god, like, I felt that genuine dread of how menacing this character was.
Yeah.
Which was Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII, and then again when he reappeared in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
So his character for me was kind of like really creepy, but then he kind of scared me. And then with Uncharted 2, the main villain in that, like the way he is a genuinely terrifying character. And so the question is basically, have you ever had a villain in a game that has genuinely scared you?
Ooh. Yeah, it's a tough one, that. But if KRAZEYL has got one there, I'll let you start with that one.
I'm trying to think, but I don't know if there really is any.
It's a very tough question, isn't it? I mean, I'm trying to think. Yeah, was there a villain that I really got scared of in a game? I mean, there was one in, believe it or not, Batman Arkham Knight. I'm trying to think which one it was now. I tell you what was really creepy. Yeah. Do you remember the start of Batman Arkham Knight where it showed Joker in his coffin box?
Yeah.
Did you find that quite creepy in a sense, the way it was all like done?
I'm not 100% sure, because like I didn't really play it. Like, I remember seeing it, but I've only really seen like pictures of it. You know what I mean? Because I never played it, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like that, I can't really think of a character really that really creeped me out. I mean, there might have been one that really creeped me out down the line, but yeah, it's a tough question, that one, Phil. Well done for that one, because I can't think.
Yeah. Yeah, good
Well, I think it's
question.
just saying that I was more of a coward than the rest.
Oh, I'm definitely a coward when it comes to horror.
See, I mean, when it came to Uncharted 2, like, I can't remember the villain's name, but, like, it's the way he shouts the main character's name with, like, pure rage. And I was like, oh my god, like, because you know how serious he is and how ready he is to just completely obliterate your character.
Yeah.
And it's not that, like, that one terrified me, but I was like, oh god, like, do you know what I mean? It just kind of brought that. Yep, I'm in for a tough battle here.
Yeah, but oh, do you know what? It's been an amazing chat. I've really enjoyed the episode, and I'm just going to end it with I've opened a new Discord channel on my Discord server. It's basically to help people that want, if they want to talk about issues in life, and how gaming does help the minds, and basically like that. It's basically based on the human mind. If people want to talk, they can. If people want to help people, they can as well. Because I'm one of them people that loves to put a smile on everyone's face if I can possibly can. And yeah, if anyone wants to join that channel, they can do it. Feel free to discuss a load of things on there, and I will reply back to anything. So yeah, I don't know what you think about that channel, Phil. Do you like the way I've brought that through, or?
You know, it sounds really good. That, to be fair, mate. And it is nice that you can have them kind of conversations with people as well.
Well, the thing that the reason why I'd done it basically was someone came into my live stream. I'm not going to mention the names because I don't mention names on here or anywhere. But when people come into your live stream, they start talking about that they're struggling, and that's a good way of people talking about the things. They see someone live streaming, they want to hear what the response is and all that. And I've been listening to a podcast recently. It's such good, because you get to find out things about the human man that you didn't even know about, which is absolutely amazing. And like I say, I like helping out people. I love people going away with a smile on the face, and that's the reason why I've opened this channel on the Discord server. I just think if people want to talk about it, they don't have to, but if they want to, it's there, and we're all there and we're there together, So yeah, that's the reason why I brought it up.
Yeah, no, it's good, mate.
But yeah, it's absolutely been amazing having you on the show, KRAZEYL. And I'm pretty sure Phil will agree on this. It's been amazing. We've, having a brand new guest. You're probably, I mean, everyone's a new guest, but you're brand, proper brand new, because obviously, we haven't had anyone from America yet, which we wanted to get someone from America. So it was great that when I asked you, you said, yeah, I'm definitely up for it. We've really enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed doing this, and it was great talking with you guys.
Yeah, great talking to you too.
You too. And what we like to end the podcast with is basically, we always ask someone at the end, is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Oh, goodness.
There's so many people, I guess, then.
There's been a lot in my gaming, streaming world that I have to thank, but like my biggest supporter is definitely my boyfriend. He's pushed me a lot to keep streaming and keep gaming, and I don't know, it's just really cool. So
that's amazing to hear, and a big shout out to your boyfriend. You're amazing, mate. Well done. That's amazing. Shout out. That's brilliant. And you know what? It's been an amazing episode. Just one more thing. We do have a Facebook page and an Instagram page. So if you haven't already joined us on there, you can. We'll update you on who's going to be on the show next and such. But yeah, it's called the Teamworks Podcast, and that is the same for Facebook and Instagram. So feel free to join that, guys. And yeah, you'll be able to see what updates we have on there. But another thing before we go is that if you say to Alexa, play Teamworks Podcast on Apple Podcasts, it will play the latest podcast. It 100% works because like I said, I've tried it before. It doesn't work with Spotify. I don't know why. Spotify doesn't work properly on Alexa, but Alexa's probably listening to me now and she'll answer back. But yeah, it's been amazing. Once again, thank you for joining us on the show, KRAZEYL. We've really enjoyed having you on the show, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Maybe possibly get you on the podcast again soon.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It will. Thank you, guys. It's been amazing. So I'm just going to end it with a thank you and bye for now.
Yep, peace out.